And for the second day in a row, we're back at La Cancha Seven Rios in Los Angeles, in southern Chile, for the Latin American Championships. And oh my God, the third place playoff has started with Chile sending the ball dead off the bounce. So Brazil on the right of screen, wearing the South Sydney Rabbitohs colours, they will be dropping the ball back out to Colombia. Just to give you a recap on what occurred yesterday, Colombia had a 36-4 defeat at the hand of Argentina in qualifying game one. But really, the Colombians, they weren't as far off the pace as what that would indicate. Brazil had a 54-8 loss to Chile. Now, both these teams had an unsettled preparation. The Brazilians in particular, they didn't get in until about 7 or 8 o'clock on the morning of the game. One of their players got delayed his flight, and then the rest of them waited for him, and then they ended up having to sleep in a bus station when they first arrived in Chile, which is, I guess, a good sign that they chose to stay together for their player. But a lot of these players yesterday didn't have any rest, so they're looking much more refreshed today and keen to put in a performance. Okay, so we've got Colombia with the ball now. The danger player here is, watch out for Sebastian Martinez. They've almost scored in the corner there too. But Sebastian Martinez is this player that's walking into the centre of field with a hair up in the bun. There's two there. He's the shorter of the two with the goatee beard. And he's played a bit of rep football back in Australia, played in Wide Bay representative junior teams alongside the likes of Patrick Kafusi. So Brazil have the tap here. Brazil's flaw yesterday was really they didn't operate as a team. They've got some really strong individual runners, but they didn't quite gel as a team. This player with the ball now being tackled, quite like his style. He came in yesterday and was taking a lot of rucks when they're under pressure, and that's Gabriel Ribeiro. So in Portuguese, because of course the Brazilian team speak Portuguese and the Colombians speak Spanish, so there's a bit of a difference here. And what we would normally pronounce as Ribeiro in Spanish, in Portuguese is Ribeiro. So it's Gabriel Ribeiro who was the player concerned there. You can see him packing into lock, but wearing 8. He's definitely one to look out for. And also, they have a player that plays fullback centre, Lineker Ferreira, who he's very difficult to stop. I think he could go somewhere in this game. Oof! You can see that strong defence from Ribeiro straight out of the scrum. And Colombia working to a pattern today. Yesterday they were a bit haphazard. They seem to be wanting to direct play at certain areas. Aside from Martinez, who's sweeping across the ruck now, the other player I'd keep an eye on is the one in headgear wearing number 7, Nicolas Perico Daza. He's played in Australia previously too, but spent most... Whoa, no, great offload. Martinez there. And that is Manuel Murillo, who has scored the try. Read that very well. Came on the inside of Martinez, who scooped his hand up, and he set that up. So Colombia takes the early ascendancy here, and it's 4-0 in favour of them. Hector Linares, I believe, has got the kick here. Okay, and that makes it 6-0. Hector Linares, he was very influential in the forming of this team. He has a university in Bogota where he trains out of, and he managed to help train and bring over a bunch of players who showed some potential in Union. But him and Nicolas Perico Daza, They particularly chose players who have that dynamic momentum and strength-based game that is so helpful in rugby league. They didn't just choose the biggest players. They chose the most dynamic ones capable of building momentum. And that's... Ooh, Perico Daza drops the ball straight from the kickoff. Brazil attacking to the side. That's Caio Vitória Ferreira, a big tall player there. And your referee is Andrew Charles. He's a referee who is probably more well known as a coach. He used to be coach of the Thailand Rugby League side, their national rugby league side. He also coached South Sydney and Central Coast in junior representatives. Brazil attacking the line. They're only about 15 metres out there. Oh, slow out of dummy half. And they're saying Colombia was not standing straight. That is Johan Bastiasis in the blue shorts. Sorry, they're all wearing blue shorts. He's the one with the knee strapped. Oh, good. Oh, the handoff was good, but the referee's picked it up now. That is a drop back there. That number 10 that was just running away with the ball, that's Elias Cardoso. And he is very difficult to stop. He's been playing mostly centre, although wearing number 10. I might just, as this scrum packs, I'll run through the teams for you. So Colombia in the yellow, blue and red. They are Hector Linares at fullback, Luis Daniel Valencia at one wing and Diego Lopez on the other wing. Centres are Daniel Vera Giraldo and Jean Lopez. Number 6 is Sebastian Martinez, the danger player we mentioned earlier. Nicolas Perico Daza at halfback. The front rowers are Giovanni Tejada. Lock is Duvan Barrera. The other front rower, Johan Bastiasis. Second row is Jada Morales and Ifred Agua. Lock is Andres David Penat. And then on the bench you have Anderson Morales, Juan Ramirez, Daniel Mahia, and Manuel Bayen Murillo. But Manuel Bayen Murillo has started the game, so I would say that perhaps Yifred Aguai is on the bench to start the game. For Brazil, their team is Aristides Fiamancini, Elias Cardoso, Lineker Faria, João Batista, Alexander Arantes, Murilo de Arroyo, Gabriel Garros. 8 is Vinicius Candido, João Pedro da Silva, Clayson dos Santos, Carlos Enriquez Rosa Silva. 12 is Gabriel Ribeiro there at lock. Moro Amorim Filho is another player to watch out for. He's quite experienced rugby player, probably coming towards the end of his career, but a very intelligent player and knows how to structure play, has a good feel for rugby league. So I'd watch out for him. And rounding out the team is Caio Vitória Ferreira, who we mentioned, the tall player on the field currently. Oh, that is Manuel Bayen Murillo. His second try in just a matter of minutes. 9 minutes, in fact, and he's running off the hip there of Sebastian Martinez. So that combination has put together 2 tries in the first 10 minutes. Definitely some structured play that they were missing yesterday, and this has helped them take the ascendancy. Brazil rocked by this, really. And you can see them walking backwards. They felt they were in for a contest, but they're behind 2 converted tries already. Hector Linares adds the conversion, and that will make the score 12-0 in favour of Colombia. Both these teams have never won in an International Rugby League test match. So one of them is going to walk away happy, unless, God forbid, we have a draw and they have to settle for even Stevens. But one of these teams is going to be a victor. At this stage, Colombia has the edge. And you could imagine they will celebrate quite hard should they secure the team's first victory. Yes, and just completing that Brazilian team. So after Caio Vitória Ferreira, we have Lucas Vinas Vieira, Earl Fernandez, and Gilberto Froes. Their coach is Hugo Froes. Brazil came into this tournament on pretty much less than a week's notice. Mexico was due to play, but they didn't end up having the funds to get the necessary people here, and Brazil filled in at short notice, which is very, very admirable of them to come in at such short notice. They knew their reputation was on the line. Oh, and that clearly this player is not understanding. Oh, there seems to be a headbutt after this guy went on with the tackle. This is Mauro Amorofilho, the player here from Brazil. Referee's talking to him at present.
Yeah, but I say held. No, I release or move.
And he's saying to the referee that he understands release or move, but he didn't understand held, which is one of the difficulties that you're going to have with 3 languages being spoken out there.
Number 1. After you have captain.
We'll listen to this. He's saying after the penalty, he's headbutted.
Penalty, him use head, hit the other man. Okay. So I'm going to give you.
And
yeah, you're lucky I send off. Okay.
He's given Hector Linares 10 minutes in the sin bin for that headbutt, which is probably quite lenient by some standards. But understanding that this is a development game, perhaps it's for the best.
You're kicking out. No, cannot. He told me already. Yeah. But he can kick short.
Oh, he's kicked for the sideline, but they've touched it, and then it's gone out.
We have scrum.
Really, he was in a position there where he could have caught that.
But therefore, yeah, scrum. Yeah, he touched it. Touched. Colombia scrum.
Yeah, so as explained, Brazil came in at short notice, and they did bring together players from 4 or 5 different cities, which that's a very big step in terms of what's happening in Brazil Rugby League. For the past 4 years, they've had a base there where there's almost probably 8 cities interested in rugby league, but they're so far apart. There's a minimum of 4 hours difference between any of these cities that they haven't played consistently. Really, the only consistent competition has been in Beija-Guando, where they have 3 teams up north in Espírito Santo. But now with this team coming together and them being able to pick a side of the best players from every region, I can see them going back and starting to spread the game more. Ooh, and Colombia's handed the ball over. So Brazil's going to get an opportunity here.
He loses the ball. Yes.
There are some very big boys in this Brazilian team. It's hard to tell from this angle up here, but one of the players, it is Murilo de Arroyo. He's actually packing down in the front row in a different coloured shirt to the others because he can't fit in to the team kit. And that was the other thing with Brazil coming at short notice, is that they've had to wear a donated kit, and we thank the South Sydney Rabbitohs for doing that, because Brazil did not have a time to get their jerseys ready. So South Sydney have given them some cast-off jerseys that they've had from previous seasons, and we thank them very much. The Rabbitohs, great sign and a great gesture for International Rugby League for them to do so. We can see the Colombian team. Colombia's had a presence in Australia for 3 years. They've had a team over there, but it's never played a full test match. And they have some very good individual players. It's the first time they've been able to put together a full 13. Their team is largely sponsored by Colombianos in Brisbane, which is like a collective of expatriate Colombians, mainly students and business people who have migrated to Australia and tried to make a better life. And they're actually supporting this team to bring the sport of rugby league as a way to display the common ground between Australians and people from Latin America, and it's another sport that we can enjoy. We can see there Brazil not understanding the rules, and they've gone for they've stripped the ball out when there's 3 people in that tackle. So a little bit of foolish play there. So Sebastian Martinez is going to kick, I believe, here for touch. They need to remain on side, his support players. Okay, and he's got an extra 15 or so metres. We can see that the double try scorer so far there, Manuel Murillo, he's walking back. Perhaps he'll take this tap as well. He's been running quite strongly to now.
No, it's the 10. Scrum is only 20. 10.
Oh, and they're underway. Sebastian Martinez. And that's Iford Aguirre. Well done. Very good run. He didn't get a lot of game time yesterday, but he kept bouncing back every time. Oh, and then there's that play again. Sebastian Martinez looks off his hip for Manuel Murillo. And that's working for them very well at the moment. Martinez again, directing play. He brushes the tackle, looks for the scoop. Almost found Manuel Murillo once more. So them two are joined at the hip at the moment. Just short of the line there. Perico Daza's calling the ball to the left. He hasn't seen a lot so far. Yesterday was directing play. He's got it there. Can he pass it on? Yes. And the referee's going to award that.
I can't hear you, Juan. Have you been talking? Oh, good. I'm listening.
Okay, and the try scorer there, I believe, is Johan Bastiasis. So I'll just check that.
Yeah, I didn't see it, mate.
No, sorry, a word from down on the sideline. It's Daniel Vera Giraldo has scored that try. But nonetheless, Colombia has moved ahead 16 points to 0. Nicolas Perico Daza will take the conversion from out wide.
How we going for time, Juan?
And that's unsuccessful. So 16-0 it will stay with approximately 20 minutes or so left in this first half.
You got 3 minutes left.
To give you a bit of background on Colombian Rugby League, yeah, so they do have quite a strong base in Australia where they're sponsored by those Colombianos in Brisbane, and also EMSA, Education and Migration Specialists, who are also Brisbane based. So most people might not know, but in Australia at the moment, 2 of the top 5 nations for contributing international students are Colombia and Brazil. So these 2 countries have got a great potential in exporting Australia's most popular game on the eastern coast, most popular winter sport. So both of these are strategically important to the future of the game spreading across the Pacific and taking hold throughout South America and Latin America itself up through North America to Mexico. The Colombian side is interesting in the fact that they do have a few players that are actually based in Chile itself, because Chile has a large mining industry here, and Colombia has a very big focus on education. So a lot of them, the engineers that come down to work on on Chilean mines, are Colombians. So quite a few players in this side. I think there's about 5 or 6 have come from the north of Chile. So they're used to these conditions. Not much travel for them, but for the rest of their squad, they had to fly 5 hours and then get a bus for 7 hours. So both Colombia and Brazil had extensive travel in getting here for this event. Okay, the kick's put in. Oh, that's Gabriel Garos passing the ball off. And that's Lineker Faria at the back there, taking the ball forward. That looks to be Gabriel Ribeiro again. This is one of the downfalls of the Brazilian side, is they do send a lot of ball over the sideline, looking to get outside their men, but not always coming off. Another player to look out for here on this Brazilian team is that number 11, Carlos Henriques Rosa Silva. He gets quite involved and is powerful in his running, as is Clayson dos Santos. Oh, they're spreading it wide. Oh, he's dropped down there, and I think this will be play on. No, the knock on because they've regathered. It looks to me as if Hector Linares has come back on the field after his stint in the sin bin, but wearing a headgear, perhaps as a result of him headbutting the other player. Let's see if Brazil can build from here. They've been starved really of opportunity down in Colombia's end. So this would be a good chance for them to string a couple of plays together. And immediately they spread it right. They probably could be a bit more spread out than that. Why don't? That's a really strange decision there. They've not had the ball much at all, and they've gone for what looked like a 10 or 15 metre off-weighted kick through on the first off a scrum. So perhaps some inexperience in rugby league showing through there. Although for those people who don't like structured rugby league, perhaps they're quite happy to see it flow this way. Moro Amorim Filho, hands off. Good hand off there. That's Murillo de Orojo. Oh, they're calling that a strip. Could just as well have been a knock on there. Lucky. Oh, and this is Lineker Faria. We mentioned earlier, you have to look out for this player. Anytime the opposition is caught napping, he will make them pay. He's very quick, and he's not afraid to run at full pace. Sometimes I've watched him play for a few years now. He plays in São Lourenço in Brazil, and sometimes you think he has no self-preservation at all, which is quite often a sign of the best rugby league players. This looks more promising, although they probably want to tighten up those offloads and not give away easy ball. Good play. They're really setting this up now. Oh! No, referee said that's not high. He's just tried to string him up. Oh, that's a lift, but he's left that go too. Elias Cardoso. Amorim Filho. Oh, Hector Linares is nailed there. Oh, and Colombia's committed a knock-on. So this is that pressure that we were talking about Brazil building. They really needed to put together a few to get back into this game, and also for their own confidence. It's not easy. They came off a 54-8 loss to Chile yesterday, and now they're in a position where an inexperienced team in Colombia is beating them 3-0 at present. So for Brazil, this is a matter of pride and a point for them to rally themselves, get back into the contest. Okay, and that's out. Ribeiro has lost the ball. Colombia throwing it around early. You can hear the experienced players saying, "Look, just settle down." Johan Bastios. Oh, I think they've called that a fair strip. He's called that a fair strip. They're remonstrating, but no. Play on. Not understanding the referee's directions there. He's telling them to play the ball.
You're held already. You're on the ground. Play the ball. No, mate, no. It was fair game.
Again, there's not too many games of rugby league where you'd have 3 different languages being spoken on the field, so it does create a few difficulties. But we do have the assistance of some players who can speak multiple languages out there, so they tend to be the negotiators as we go along.
One-on-one, but knock on. Thank you.
And Brazil's got the ball back again. Another opportunity for them.
But you went forward. The ball has to go back. Okay? Knock on. Yeah, and then what happened after that? When you...
Nicolas Pedicodaza, the halfback, he's disputing this decision, but the referee is not budging. It's a good lesson for most rugby league players. The referees don't change their minds. So you're just wasting hot air and usually getting them offside and a chance of giving away further penalty if you argue with them. So both tactically and as a sign of respect, it's always best just to play by the letter of the law and play the referee's whistle.
No, I didn't see it that way. Okay.
Oh, and you can see that the quality of the passing is quite good, but it's the handling, it's the pickup that's letting them down. They're putting the ball in front, they're sending it sharply, but it's not quite being received. And again, where that ball's gone to the bench, that's the Brazilian bench picking up the ball now. So they're really wasting opportunities and not getting to the end of their set of 6, Brazil, while they're in this quality territory. I believe out of the 2 teams, Colombia is carrying a few more injuries going into today. Both teams have got the minimum number of players for 2 days. So all the teams participating this weekend were allowed to bring 20 players in their squad. That could be, but only 17 per game. So Argentina and Chile will alternate 3 different players for their games, but these 2 teams have brought the bare 17 minimum. And Colombia's carrying a few injuries. So the interchange for them will be of great importance. Yesterday we saw with the qualifying games that teams didn't use as many interchanges as we thought, and that's probably a mark of, one, their inexperience, not knowing how to roll on and off. But also, 2, is that the difference between the best players and the least experienced is in some stages it's so great that it's best to leave your experienced players on the field as long as they can. So they're not really interchanging as frequently as you'd think. I think yesterday there was 5 or 6 interchanges per team rather than up around that 10 mark.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, so we're back with the play. Colombia were chasing the kick there, but Bayan Murillo, who has 2 tries already, he was being called offside by the referee as he chased that ball. You can see that wind in the background there. Those trees over the back, they're quite large trees, and it's bending a few of them over. So there's definitely an advantage on the kick here. The venue, La Cancha Seven Rios, is actually right next to a golf course. So when the field was being prepared, organisers had to come down and clear a few golf balls off the field. And when I say a few, I'm probably talking about 20 or so. Let's hope there's no wayward drives today. Oh, this looks like it may be an injury to Yifred Aguirre on the sideline. He copped a few hits yesterday as well. Nice strong play by Brazil. When they hold the ball, they've definitely got ability. Lineker Faria in dummy half. Sends a ball out. Oh, Hard man to stop, but the job's done. Moro Amorim Filio is in at dummy half. He's sent that out. Good, nice run. There's definitely some ability there. Good work. Faria chips over the top. Chases through, gets his own kick, but he's wrapped up. That's the last tackle.
Colombia. 6 tackle.
Bit of a shame. That was a nice, adventurous play there from Lineker Faria, but unfortunately his changeover time. Brazil has had their 6 tackles. Sebastian Martinez. Colombians doing a good steady job of just taking the ball into the teeth of the defence. And that ball security that they have seems to be the difference over Brazil at the moment. I saw them they were training this morning, running through some plays, and they were very firm in that they had to stick to a game plan this time compared to yesterday, where they're a bit more ad-lib. Perico Daza, he's a bit of a magician at times, but you can see he's manhandled by the defence there. Kick over the top by Martinez. He's going for ground, and that's just outside the 40. Another metre or so back, and that would have been a 40-20 kick from Martinez there.
Outside 40, thanks.
Yep, and you can see the touch judge, Juan Perez, is just confirming that. He said his foot was over the line, just outside of that range.
How we go for time, mate?
You still got another 5 minutes, mate.
Thanks, mate.
And the words come through that we've just got over 5 minutes going for half time.
On the right. Yeah. Over there.
Can Brazil,
Okay.
in these last few minutes, come back? They're in the wrong end of the field, but this will be their feed. For those of you tuning in who didn't catch the first couple of days, we would like to thank our sponsors, in particular Intergas Services, who made this stream possible. We're really the first kind of company to come on board and say we want to help televise this, so we're very indebted to them, but also to our long-term sponsors of Latin-American Rugby League, Guzman and Gomez Mexican Taquerias, Shield Security, Tattoo Tears, Cast Graphics, LS Tax and Accounting Services, Retrocom Digital TV Specialists, Colombianos in Brisbane, who we mentioned earlier, GMA Tourism, EMSA Education and Migration Services Australia, Licknow and Associates Accountants, The Edge Home Loans, Oakey North Lodge CFMEU, Active Rehabilitation Physiotherapy, Radio Austral, and Fighting for Fitness Gym. And that looked a little bit like the WWE suplex there.
Too early. Too very quick. Okay. Yeah.
And Brazil kicking for touch. Time to build that pressure once more. Colombia looking a bit tired at this stage. They're dawdling back to their mark, but again, Brazil not really making them pay with a quick tap either. This will all come down to understanding of the game. So I imagine the next time we see these two sides, they'll be a lot sharper. They'll know the rules. They know exactly where they have to be, when they can play on, when they can take advantage, and when they need to come back. So all of these things, give it 12 months, and we're going to be watching much improved sides. Oh, it looked like he might have lost the ball there, but he's held on to it. Spreads it wide. Oh, ball to ground. Oh. And he's cleaned up well. Good work. Amorim Filio in at dummy half. Wide. Lineker Faria to Ribeiro. Ribeiro bumps him off. That is just 5 meters short of the line. He's hurt, I think, in that tackle. Wide the ball goes. Amarim Filho. Oh no. I think if they'd gone the short pass there to Elias Cardoso, that could have turned into some trouble. Instead, they've gone the long loopy pass, and not only did that allow the defence to converge, but it also made it difficult to catch looking into the sun. And we can see there's been a substitute on the field. And I believe that is Lucas Vinas Vieira, who has just come on. Oh no, sorry, that's Vinicius Candido. So Vinicius Candido is the quite slightly built player with sort of like straw blonde hair. And he's packed into the scrum, but I think he'll be out wider as the game goes on. He's usually a winger or a fullback. Big tackle on Johan Bastiasis, but he goes again. That looks like Linares. Pass Bastiasis, pass Martinez. Ball comes out. Ifred Aguirre hit again. This is the player that was hurt earlier over the sideline, and he's taken more punishment. To Martinez. He does that little jink back into the ruck quite often, so they're all awake to that. They've watched him play yesterday. And he can be quite a fiery player at times too, very competitive. So you see him having a bit of push there with Caio Viteria Ferreira. Oh, good work. He's picked that up. Can they break away? Lineker Faria. So it's an interesting story. The background to Lineker Faria, he's actually, his parents are big soccer fans, and they named his first name Lineker after Gary Lineker, the English soccer player, who now most people would know as a commentator. But quite strange that a Brazilian would be named after an Englishman and end up playing rugby league. English soccer player too. That looks like Gabriel Ribeiro has hurt his knee, and if so, that's a big blow. He's been close to their best, but he's limping off to the sideline, and I believe Brazil is making a substitute. You can see the player pulling on the headgear and running along the sideline now. So Ribeiro is coming off this side of the field. That's not a great sign. Brazil down 16-0 and have lost arguably their hardest running forward. Kick. Fielded. Nice chase, but doesn't secure. And now wrapped up. I believe that's Luis Daniel Valencia. Linares takes the ball out. He's been busy. Scooting out of dummy half. Oh, definitely around the head. But he's played the advantage. Okay, Sebastian Martinez. Oh, good break here. Down the sideline, man to beat. Oh, no, spilt opportunity. That is Heider Morales with the spill, and the referee calls halftime. Back for the second half. Brazil with the kick this time. And dropped backwards by Perico Daza. He feigns to kick, which would have been a turn back to the 70s or 80s for rugby league fans if he'd kicked there off of the kickoff. They work to the right. Johan Bastiasis. He's really picked up. I would say if there's one player who's improved from day one to day two of this tournament, it's definitely him. He's running stronger, displaying more control. Linares out to Sebastian Martinez. Ifred Aguirre. Good work. He's a bit close to the sideline. Let's see. Yes, he stayed in. Oh, he's called a knock on in the play the ball there.
Drop the ball. Scrum. Mate, he dropped it. No, mate, no.
Captain Martinez is disputing the interpretation with referee Andrew Charles, but again, he's not budging. He's not here for a debating competition.
Go, man. So I can't let that one go.
The referee Charles and the captain of Colombia Martinez would be quite familiar with each other, having operated in similar systems in Australia. So they've got that level of communication there, and which is good because Martinez can speak the Spanish to convey the message out to the others, but also with the English language skills. Also, the touch judge Juan Perez, dual language speaker as well, bilingual. And then a number of these Brazilian players can speak both English and Portuguese, or Spanish and Portuguese. Which makes us average Aussies who only speak one language seem quite inadequate, really. Elias Cardoso. Ooh. That was an awkward tackle there. I thought at first it might be the defender was hurt, but it looks like Cardoso was hurt more. Brazil off the ruck, one out. They need a little bit more decoy work. Spreading the ball. Out to Cardoso. Oh, he's pushed that out. Really, that ball needed to go wide earlier, rather than saving it to the last and putting pressure on the outside man. Again, one of those things these teams will learn from as they become more and more experienced in the intricacies of rugby league. It looks like Brazil has another substitute on the field. And I believe that's Earl Fernandez.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, Manuel Ben Murillo, the dual try scorer from the first half. He's back into the fray and performing quite strong. Oh, I think that's Perico Daza with the knock on. And that's going to cost them in that position. No, sorry, it's not Perico Daza. He's backed up to help defend, but the first man with the mistake was not Perico. Getting close to the sideline. I think their coach Hugo Froes will be quite frustrated with the number of times they've crept towards the sideline when it's not been necessary. Good run there. Found the offside man and made inroads. Very smart play. So Colombia under pressure on their own line. Brazil with the tap 10 metres out. Good run and good defence there. Pass out wide. The big man up the middle. Oh, and he's driven. Definitely some desire to protect their own line there for them, the Colombians. They don't want to waste this lead. Elias Cardoso. Who's going to take this run? Lineker Faria. Straight through the middle. This is exactly the warning that I meant to give earlier. Sometimes when he just lines up a run, he'll skittle people left, right and centre. He's not the biggest man, but he has this way of running that spears through people. And we saw this yesterday. He was the first try scorer for Brazil against Chile. In fact, I believe he might have scored the first try of the game. So he has the distinction of now 2 tries for his country and the first try scorer in international rugby league for Brazil. lining up the conversion is Lucas Vinas Vieira. He's kicking from out wide, very tough position, wind not in his favour. You can see the grass is pretty long too. And he's potted that from the sideline. So, actually, when I say the grass is long, I'm probably being a bit critical there. It's very, very soft and well manicured underfoot. It's a bit softer than the fields you would see in Australia, where it's a bit hard and dry. But if you're a player, you wouldn't mind playing on this field at all. It's very lush, and the ground staff have done a great job in preparing the field.
I'll give him one. Hey, but he also complained that he lost it onto a Colombia, and I didn't get no call from you, and I didn't see it. Play on.
It's on ball. I can't call it.
Okay.
So they're looking for the ball here.
I don't think he dropped it.
Oh no, he's looking for halfway, even though there's the orange markers, the standalone banners on the halfway mark to denote them. So let's see. At 16-6, can it be game on again? Can Brazil whip something out of the hat? And will they turn the tables so that Brazil secures its first ever Rugby League International Federation victory? To Ilias Cardoso. He makes good inroads up the middle, a little bit across the field, but good field position. Moro Amarim Filho, dummy half, ignores his men running under and chooses to go alone. Good settler. If they can just build from here. They just need to build and not go too stupid. Don't want to get carried away yet. Just punch a few more up the ruck and then test those edges. Oh, Murilo de Orojo. He is a big man. There's actually two very big Brazilian players who would be about 6'6" and in the 125 kilo range, and they both couldn't play this weekend because of work commitments. So they would have been handy to have. Not saying they necessarily would have changed the results, but in terms of showing the rest of the world some of the athlete sizes in Brazil, it would have been quite a good advertisement for them. You do, of course, in Brazil have very unique combinations of genes in that the sense there's a very tall and athletic builds of the Germans and Swedes that have come to populate the area, but also of the African migrants who've come to the country as well. So you get people who have this tall, rangy frame, but also can be quite powerfully built. So people quite often say Brazil's the melting pot of multiculturalism. There's all different shapes and sizes there, and I think quite a few of them that aren't suited to soccer would be very well suited to rugby league. Spread the ball to Martinez. He wants to take back some control over this game, I think. That's Bastiasos taking another hit up. So Martinez, he calls for the ball. He's found his outside man. They've got to be careful of that. You can't give him your outside shoulder without covering him too much. He was wrapped up that time. Oh, Lineker Faria holding on too long in the ruck. Perico Daza from Colombia obviously frustrated. And Martinez to kick for the sideline. No big ground advantage there, but another 10 or 15 doesn't hurt. I would again be looking for that danger man, Manuel Amarillo, to be taking a ruck.
Back there. Make sure they're behind. Okay.
Martinez telling his team what he wants from them. Looks like Linares is going wide. Linares, no. Oh, Martinez straight through the middle. Great run. But well covered by the defence. That's Elias Cardoso hanging back there. He's done some good things in this game. Hector Linares. Oh, second tackle after a big run, and he's put a chip through to the corner. Big run around the side. This is that interchange of Vinicius Candido. He's done well there. He ran a long way to get 15 or so metres out in front, but he's done a good job. Lineker Faria proving hard to wrap up. I tell you what, some of these Colombian defenders have done a reasonable job. They've kind of got the concept of securing the man on the ground and not letting him up as quickly as they did yesterday. This is De Arroyo again. Oh, ball shuffled out. I felt that marker was perhaps too early. Oh, everybody taking a bit of punishment there. This might be a third place consolation game, but both teams playing like everything depends on it. And really, I guess when you've got a chance to be a part of your country's first ever winning side, that's how it is.
14. 6 tackle.
And again, caught in possession on the 6, not understanding the handover.
They tell you. Here, marker. Here. 14.
Manuel Bayan Murillo with the play of the ball.
You're not here. That's okay.
Oh, he scooted down the blinds there and gone straight into touch. That is a sign of inexperience, that one. You definitely wouldn't do that as a point of operation normally. A little slow to pack the scrum from Brazil. I think it's probably in their favour that they pack quickly. They've got time running down on the clock. About 20 minutes or so left in the game, and they're the ones behind. Also, Colombia a bit rattled by that mistake in running it blind. Oh, Amarim Filio, low ball. Good palm off. He's playing well. Oh, Lineker Faria between the legs to Cardoso. Faria in at dummy half again. He seems like he's playing 3 or 4 positions at the moment. Oh, good move. You can't accuse any of these teams of playing boring football. They might be making some mistakes, but they're definitely having a crack. They're being inventive. They're trying to create holes. Lineker Faria up the middle, runs over his man. I think if you could put 10 or 15 kilos on Lineker, he's someone who could really do some damage in the game of rugby league in general. His take no prisoners style is definitely suited to the game. Good kick through. Oh, that's Manuel Bayan Murillo. Scooting out of half, going near that sideline again. They like those sidelines. Oh, what's happened there? He's calling play on. Well, they were a bit confused there about what was going on. The dummy half just didn't fall on the ball at all. Spreading it wide. Oh, no. Faria drops the ball cold in space. That's a disappointing outcome for Brazil. They seem to be working their way back into it. While we wait for the scrum, again, a big thanks to the major company in driving this live stream, which is Intergas Services, and our long-term supporters that sponsor us all over the world. And that's Guzman Gomez Mexican Taquerias, Shield Security, Tattoo Tears, Cast Graphics, LS Tax and Accounting Services, Retrocom Digital TV Specialists, Colombianos in Brisbane, GMA Tourism, EMSA Education and Migration Services Australia, Licknow and Associates Accountants, The Edge Home Loans, Oakey North Lodge CFMEU, Active Rehabilitation Physiotherapy, Radio Austral, and Fighting for Fitness Gym. And that is Baena Murillo taken down there. Still at 16-6. It's been this scoreline for a good 20 minutes now. Oh, and he's popped it up. Baena Murillo. There's that combination. Martinez to Baena Murillo. Hector Linares. Oh, he's dummied. He's taken that well. Good play. Keep building. Mayan. Good. Martinez. Perico Daza. Chip through. Jeez, he's got some toe. This is the second time he's run across field. Oh, but he's passed it forward. And now they're going to be 10 metres out and under pressure. So originally I was a bit critical thinking of Perico Daza's kick through at such a vital stage.
Do you want to just call it time and that way you can start it off?
Time for 20 seconds, mate.
But it's worked out well for them.
Yeah. Drink.
Colombia are going to have the ball 10 metres out
10 seconds left.
with a 16-6 advantage. And you can see Cardoso just jogging back on side there. He must be hurt. Okay, referee's just signalling a 20 metres drinks break. So they've had a quick drink break and now they're back. Martinez feeds the scrum. They go the blind. Oh, and he's taken touch in goal.
20 metre.
That is so close. That could have been almost an unassailable lead established there if Colombia had got over in the corner.
He went out. Yeah.
And because they've gone over the sideline in goal, that means a 20-metre tap. Amarim Filio spreads it. Gee, they're attacking that fringe. Elias Cardoso. From being injured on the other side, he's suddenly come all the way to the other side of the field. Dropped a player underneath him. Now, gee, they've gone about 60 metres in that movement. Spreads it wide. Will they go again? Oh, Amarim Filio goes to the fullback, beats him, and that's a try. Very excited. Of all the players who've come to this tournament, Moro Amarim Filio, he's battled cramps the first 2 days and he's got them again, but also he's been one of the most inquisitive players. He's constantly been, when he's not playing, he's been asking questions, wanting to learn more about the game. He's very enthusiastic about this opportunity and about the possibility of taking rugby league back to his hometown of Rio de Janeiro, which would be quite a big step for the game. And for him to get this try, that means so much. He's such an eager student of the sport, and you could just tell the enthusiasm that runs through his veins for this code. And the kick there by Lucas Venus Vieira. Score is 16-12. This is definitely a ball game with less than 20 minutes on the clock. So you can see in the background the Chilean women's team warming up. Chile and Argentina will play a women's exhibition game after this match. They played one earlier that ended 6-0 to Argentina over Chile, and that score, that try that won the game, was only scored in the last 2 minutes of that match. So It was a very defensive orientated game. They did spread the ball a lot, and it wasn't through errors that there was no score. It was simply the amazing defensive effort of those women. The organisers are very pleased that we could have Women's Rugby League as part of this tournament. It was first planned for next year, 12 months away, but the teams were able to form together. They've got a very good understanding of the game, and I would say in some ways the girls are even setting a template for the men in some countries. They're very well organised and enthusiastic. Brazil has the ball back, down by 4 points. I would say there'd be about 15 minutes left on the clock. There's that big Murillo de Orojo. The Colombian defence has handled him well. And here's the second skyscraper. Good work. It's been very strong around the middle of the ruck. Nice play. Well suited body shape for rugby league. Lineker Faria. Straight through. Will this be his third try of the tournament? No. He's tripped just short. Still 4 points down. Ball goes wide. Again. Ball back. That could have been lost ball, but referee says that the Colombians were offside out wide.
Not in 10 metre. Cannot. On the line, Colombia. You got to play it down, mate. Play it down. Hang on. We have injured.
Okay, the referee's calling time off for injury in the background. I believe both teams have a player injured off screen. Jeffred Aguirre, who's taken a hammering all day long, seems to be hurt again. I think Brazil's looking at bringing Ribeiro back on the field after that knee injury in the first half. He'd definitely be handy at this stage of the game. We can see Amorim Filho is having a talk with his half, and he's had a chat with his lock as well. They're setting up the two big forwards. What will they come up with here? And time is back on. Oh, they switched it back. Pulled just short. He tries again to go up the middle. Again short. Oh. They're getting closer and closer, but still no dice. Out of dummy half. Spreads the ball. Cardoso, and you can see their arms go up in the air. That levels the score, 16 points all. What a game. Two of the emerging nations of rugby league. They've come here, they've put it all on the line, travelled large distances at their own expense. No one gets paid at this level. And it's 16 all, with just a few minutes to go. This is what footy's all about, no matter what level you play at. And I imagine especially when you're wearing your national colours, there's no greater feeling than being in a tight contest like this. Their hearts must be pounding. And we've seen Lucas Venus Vieira slot one from out here earlier. It is on his favoured foot, but it's a difficult angle. Scores level, and he will start to move in. That is a great kick, and flags go up, and for the first time in their whole history of rugby league, Brazil is leading a team in international rugby league. Of course, yesterday when they played Chile, Chile accounted for them 54-8. So this is really their chance to make a difference. They're in front suddenly. Colombia dominating early with seemingly the more structured game plan, the more experience. And now Brazil's got a sniff, or more than a sniff, they're in front. And if I was Colombia, I wouldn't be dawdling here. There's a bit of this happening from both teams. I understand the Colombians are a bit exhausted. They've almost used up all their interchanges in this game after, as I said yesterday, none of the teams used as many interchanges as they could. And I believe Colombia just has one left to go in this match. If you can hear a noise in the background, that's the drone hovering overhead. The filming team are actually making a documentary on top of these game recordings. And we hope to bring that to you sometime soon as well, just to display what this whole tournament involved. They found the kick. Kick has bounced into touch, which gives Colombia the advantage.
Colombia. Here.
Oh. Can you imagine the nerves now from Brazil? They've probably been in front on the scoreboard for less than 2 minutes, and suddenly Colombia are back down their end of the field. Spreading out, trying to get some width, pull the Brazilian defenders apart. Oh, and they run tight. This could still work well if they whip it wide now. They just have to find the right men. I'd be looking for Martinez to feed it onwards, but they're going from dummy half. Bayen Murillo. Oh, and he's gone. Has he just won the game for Colombia? Here I am calling for them to send it wide, and he's spotted a gap behind the ruck and ran a good 12 metres, palming off defenders to score his third try of the game. Amazing. Can you imagine his celebrations tonight? 3 tries in just his second international game. And with the clock winding down, if his 3 tries prove to be the difference, he will be the toast of the Colombian team.
Oh, mate, so are yous. Yeah, come on. Yeah. I want a good game of footy, man.
20 points to 18. Hector Linares. And the conversion is good. So that's 22-18. We have just over 10 minutes left on the clock.
Cliffhanger, Rob. Cliffhanger.
Even the referee's calling it a cliffhanger, so it's a pleasing outcome that both of these teams have been in the contest, really. This will be very confidence boosting for the players on both sides, for the administrators. And has that gone into touch off the bounce or on the full? I think he said on the full.
I don't know.
Oh, geez. Brazil have compounded their error, and there would have only been a matter of inches in that. That could have been very decisive for them.
Yeah, inside before the line. 1 more metre that way, good.
Oh.
Yeah, unlucky.
Yep, the referee saying that was only 1 metre in that.
Penalty, kick out or tap. Yeah. Or kick for goal, 3. He asked, what can we do? I said, kick for touch, tap, or kick for goal.
Don't worry about what they ask you.
Nah, they're learning. What do you do?
Okay, Martinez. He looks like he's going for the tap here. From the centre of the field, they're not going to kick for touch. Even though he's driven backwards, there's some good structure and good timing to that run. It's clear that they've put in the yards at training from their first performance. Martinez splits them wide. Is he going to score? No. He has been a danger. Very good choice as the leader of this team. Colômbia out wide. Oh. Another injury? No, he's got up from that. They're gone towards the sideline. No. Brazil not giving up. He looked like he lost that. No, play on. Perico Daza. Perico. No, pulled up short. 5th and last. Colombia's ball. And they're held. They're tackled on the 6.
That's 6. Change over. Brazil ball.
Oh, they've walked away from the play the ball. Oh, it looks like Martinez is cramping up, so they might have lost their best player here. He can't move. You can see him trotting back. The touch judges said 4 minutes to go. So 4 points in it, 4 minutes on the clock. What can Brazil pull out of the hat? Wearing the Bunnies uniforms, can they pull a rabbit out? Touch judge has given the signal. That was a forward pass on the inside. So if they are to come back, there's probably only 1 or 2 more rolls of the dice. Well, look at this. Bayan Murillo, who has to play the ball, he's also cramping up. So all these players feeling the pinch as we come into the final moments.
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
As the clock winds down, we'd like to thank all of our supporters who've watched today. If you're watching a Latin American Rugby League game for the first time, just to explain that for these two teams, it's so their first weekend they've had an opportunity to play under full rules. They have had domestic activity before, but this is their first chance to pull on their international colours and represent. So from here, things will only improve after this. Following this, we'll have the championship final between Chile and Argentina, and that's anybody's guess who could win that game. All throughout the crowd here, you'll find split opinion. Argentina won a nines tournament against Chile last year, but Chile in 13-a-side rugby league have been the stronger side for the last, say, 3 or 4 years. They really are the powerhouse of rugby league in Latin America. But for one of these teams, looking like Colombia at the moment, they will also have the accolade of being named the 3rd best team in Latin America after this. And Martinez, he's held that ball after it bobbled. Perico Daza puts a good kick in. He's going for the try. No, it's gone touching goal. And he's kicked that ball away, but Brazil have got it back. It's a scrum. They need to form this quickly. Well, Brazil may need to be very mindful here. He has warned that it was 4 minutes. You can see the players running in now, they realise. Oh. It all goes on the line now. Amarim Filio should feed this and get on. Oh, he's just gone straight from the back of the scrum. This might even involve a kick for those players, Faria and Cardoso. Even the winger that's come on, Vinicius. I'd be looking for him as well. Here we go. Who's going to win this chase? Oh, it hasn't gone as long as we thought it would. Oh, he's lost that ball. Chipped ahead. Brazil have got it. And they're about 22 metres out from the line. 6 more tackles. Oh, and he's lost the ball when he got up. Oh, no. Oh, he released the ball without taking it and picking it up. And at a crucial part of the game, that is really, really hurtful. Again, it.
2 minutes. Just a bit under. Yeah, you told me a minute ago. Not a minute, a short time ago.
That just comes down to inexperience, really. And that's going to be hard to live down. There's 2 minutes on the clock. And And if Brazil go down in this game, a tough moment to look back on. They had 6 to go with 22 metres out from the line, and Colombia turning around from a tough kick chase. Martinez trying to set them up. Steadies it. Takes a no-risk ruck. Scoot out. Linares is there. I think they'll be telling him to do the same. Oh no, he passes this time. Works in behind the ruck. Brazil tackling well. They probably should work for a one-on-one strip here. They're getting down towards their last chance. Martinez, big kick. He's hoisted that. Cardoso under it. Tough man to stop one-on-one. He's run away. Oh, brought down there. I believe by Ifred Aguirre. 30 seconds on the clock is the call from the touch judge. Oh, he's just held on. Brazil in possession. Probably 3 tackles in it. 4 points the difference. Amarim Filho feeds it on. Outside his man. Hitting it wide. And I think he's grazed the touchline. You could not get closer. What a game. 2 opportunities for Brazil after they came back from 16-0 down to lead 18-16. And then 2 opportunities in the final couple of minutes. And it's gone the way of Colombia. You can hear them celebrate. See the players, that's how beat up they are, limping on from the other side of the field. And the Colombian flag flying high. Congratulations to both teams. Heroic effort from all concerned, not only with their game but their preparations.